Hey everybody, it's me, Rick Acosta, the Dodger Card Collector, coming to you with another video. Today is Saturday, November 18th, and I literally filmed this as I just arrived home from the first ever Pasadena card show put on by Front Row. And I got home and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. First, I wanted to watch the ending of the UCLA USC game. UCLA won. Go Bruins. Congrats to them. Uh, and but I wanted to talk to you a little bit for those of you that are local that live in the LA area that are on the fence thinking of heading out to the show. Just wanted to give you a little feedback on it just to see if that helps you guys head out there. As I mentioned, the show was today and tomorrow, and I understand that they just announced a second show in March in Pasadena. Admission was $5 in advance, and if you didn't do it in advance, it's $10. There was tons, and this is how I got in. I got in for free. There were tons of VIP tickets that were handed out during the Burbank show and also during the Temecula show this past summer. So I was able to get in that way. Did it help? Hopefully it helps better the second time than it did the first time. I got thrown into a massively long line. Yes, there was a line to get in. Luckily, after a few minutes and the line was moving, somebody said, if you already have tickets, please show us your tickets. And at that point, we were given wristbands, and then we were told to switch lines, and we walked right in. So that was really good. Um, Parking, there's parking, there's a lot of parking. There's a lot of parking in that area. Pasadena Civic Center is right across the street from Paseo Pasadena, which is a mall, so there's parking there. And there's also a lot of it's paid parking. I'm not going to lie to you. I went with my buddy Eric, and we did the we did the cheap thing. We parked a few blocks away in a 2-hour parking zone for free, and we just went out every 2 hours and moved our cars. If you were going to pay for parking near the convention center, it probably would run you about, I think, $4 to $5 an hour. So $12 max. So just be aware of that in case you choose to park there. The show starts, well, the show hours are from 11 to 5. VIP entrance starts at 10. We got there at 10:20, and as I mentioned, there was already a long line. They did move the line quickly, so I won't lie about that. Um, Try to take advantage of just getting there early because there was a good sized crowd at this event. I was completely stunned at the magnitude of this show. I kind of had a little bit of an attitude all week, thinking, not much is going to happen here. I told my buddy Eric I was bringing $100. I wasn't looking to do much because I honestly just didn't think much about it. I walked in, the room was a decent size, not a great size. There was a lot of people though. So I would say if when they do another show, I don't know if the Pasadena Civic Center has or Civic Auditorium has a bigger room, but they might want to get a slightly bigger room just because the aisles tend to get a little crowded. And I was stunned just by the amount of people that went to this show. It shows you how hungry LA is for shows. We've got the Burbank show. I'm always hooting and hollering about the Long Beach show. If they can add a couple of shows in Pasadena, I do think it'll really help out a lot. Now, I need to drink some water just because I've been talking all day. It's kind of crazy. So, what was the selection like out there? You might be wondering, and I'm going to try to explain it to you more from a vintage viewpoint, but I will let you guys know I did see Pokemon cards, a lot of them, and I saw a lot of modern. So those type of cards are available. Vintage, what I tended to notice, there was good vintage, but what I tended to notice in regards to vintage cards, pre-war cards, uh, a lot of slabs, a lot of graded cards. My set building friends It's going to be a little bit harder if you're trying to build a set at this show. I did see a couple of people. I actually sat down at one table looking for 1963 cards. I found one. I chose not to buy it, but there were some cards there. I saw a lot of high-end graded cards. I'm trying not to use the word slabs. And there was a couple of sellers that had some very nice, you know, mid to late '60s graded cards. You know, guys like Roger Maris, Ernie Banks, good prices. Uh, was definitely so there was definitely a good vintage vibe there. I did not expect this to happen, to be honest with you. I thought this was going to be a Joel Embiid uh, type show or a lot of modern cards, and there were there, but there was some good vintage. From what I understand, this front row group is based out of Las Vegas. They brought a lot of out of state sellers down here. I hope they kicked butt just because it was a good show. I stayed 4 hours. I'm you know me, you guys. I can't stay all day, and I'll share with you the purchases I made. And frankly, after I made the purchases I made, I realized I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want to go home. So I was there about 4 hours. You could definitely stay there all day though, and there was a lot of memorabilia. There was comic books. There were dollar boxes. I saw dollar boxes, obviously, for a lot of modern cards. I saw a lot of autographs, which was kind of neat. And if I'm going to try and share some footage at the end of my video. I even saw somebody was selling the Beatles autographs, and I thought that was pretty neat. Good show all around. I'd definitely say check it out. Met a few YouTubers while I was out there. I met Levon from LA Collection again. I see him all the time at the Long Beach show, and the last year I seen him at Burbank. But today he was there as a spectator, so we got to hang out for a little bit, and he helped me out with one of my purchases. I can't thank you enough, Levon. This is the second time you've given me a nice motivational speech, and it really helped a lot in the end. So when you're buying cards, sometimes, guys, you need help because you won't buy a card if you don't get help. That's for sure. I also met up with Tim. He has a new channel called Sports Cards, etc. I'm going to leave you a link. He has just started making YouTube videos. He's a vintage collector, you guys. So, really great guy. I found out we grew up near the same area, had a lot in common. Tim, it was really nice to meet you and just talk sports, talk sports card collecting. So, I feel like Dylan when I'm drinking water in the middle of my monologue. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do some pickups. I've got some pickups from eBay from Greg Morris, and I picked up a couple. All right, my first pickup today. Actually, this is something I just arrived today in the mail from eBay, and this is a 1951 Bowman Tom Fears. Good looking card here, and looks like the Bowman baseball back, which it is. But this I'm working on. You've noticed I've added a couple of 1950 Bowman cards. This is my first 1951 Bowman card. I would like to try to get the Los Angeles Rams cards from 1949 to 1951. It's going to take a little bit of time, but the one thing that I'm really enjoying about when I'm buying these cards is I'm learning more about how to collect football cards, because it's very different than collecting baseball cards. And I always have to check in with my friend Terry at TJ Maxx, and just, I have to ask him, is this a good price? And like with this card, the opening bid was high 20s, and I just bid on it thinking that's it. This is all I'm bidding, and nobody else bid on the card. And I immediately thought, God, did I overpay? And I checked that, I shot a message over to Terry, and Terry's like, no, you paid the going rate. So it's nice to pay for a Hall of Fame card. And again, I only learned about the 51 Bowmans just from Terry sharing his collection with me uh, via photographs, and these Bowman cards are really nice. For the Rams just had really nice uniforms back then that I've noticed on all their cards. The whole blue and yellow thing, and then you got the Ram logo up here on the upper right. This is a good looking set. I was bidding on a was it Norm Van Brocklin? I think I was bidding on a Norm Van Brocklin card that it's ending tonight, I think, on Heritage. And I just got outbid. I don't know, probably based on today's events, I won't be bidding anymore on it, but we'll see. But this is a good looking Tom Fears. Okay, so I've got a new stack of 63s. It's not much, but the closer we get to finishing the set, one thing I'm starting to notice, and you're going to notice it here, is that we're starting to see some names as opposed to some names that we know, as opposed to guys that we go, who's this guy? So we're starting to see that here. Now, it's not the case in this card, this 1963 Rookie Stars. There isn't one player here I've heard of, but that wasn't an easy one to get. Let's see, the next guy, Luis Arroyo of the Yankees, left-handed pitcher. I'm starting to find some Yankees here. Yankees and Dodgers are usually the harder ones to find, and they also cost a little bit more. And I'm noticing on this set, and it's probably just because I already finished the Dodger team set, the Yankees are expensive and hard to find. And I'm not talking Mantle. I'm talking guys like this. Bill Kunkel, another pitcher. And here's a familiar face. Whitey Herzog, Detroit Tigers outfielder. He's got the old chewing tobacco there in his mouth. And let's see, I got a couple of more here. Great pitcher for the Pirates, Bob Friend. Well, at this point, he'd already been playing a long time. He'd already had a 20-game win season. That's Bob Friend. Is he the best pitcher the Pirates have ever had? I don't know. Steve Blass, Doug Drabeck? Not sure. But there's Bob Friend. And my last card, Hall of Famer Jim Bunning. And still in the Tigers at this point. Hasn't been traded to the Phillies. That's Jim Bunning. If I didn't mention this earlier, I bought all of these from Greg Morris on eBay. So with these 6, I am now down to 64 cards in the 1963 set. So now my pickups from the Pasadena card show. I got 2 cards, both completely out of the blue. I had no idea I would be coming home with these cards today. My first card is a 1964 Topps Roger Maris. And I got this card for free, actually. And this is only the third Maris I have in my collection. I have the 65 and I have the 61 All-Star card. But CaptainTicket.com out of Upland, California. A lot of you are saying, Upland, California, where's that? I can tell you that it's 10 miles from my mother's house, so that's close enough for me. He has a store out there, and he had a lot of vintage graded cards. And when I found out he had a store, I go, do you have any commons in that store of yours? And he goes, I have a lot of commons, modern, back to pre-war. So I definitely plan on checking him out. That was CaptainTicket.com. Now, the reason that I was able to get this Maris for free, which was in pretty good condition here. I mean, excellent condition. It's a little off-centered, but it's a nice-looking card. The reason I got this card for free was because that was thrown in when I bought this card. And that was my 1941 play ball, Ted Williams, in a PSA 3. And let me tell you guys, this was the last card I expected to come home with today. I wasn't planning on buying this card till next year, potentially at the Burbank show. My goal today in buying cards was, I was hoping to find some 1963 Topps cards, to be completely honest with you. I was very, I didn't expect much to happen at this show. And I walked into this table and I saw this card and it was in a three. One of my goals in regards to this card was because the Joe DiMaggio card I own is a one, and I'm thankful for that one. I wanted the Williams in a two or a 2.5 or a three. I knew that that was probably maybe something I could potentially afford, and so I liked the card. And I asked him how much he wanted. He gave me a price, and I thanked him. And I told them I'll be back later. Went to the VCP website and I noticed that the price was a fair price. For me, it was under VCP by a good amount, and that's very important to me. When I'm buying big cards, it's pretty hard, or it's hard for me to make the decision by myself. I started texting a few people, and I texted Terry. He seems to help me out when it comes to big cards, and I literally just went to him and said, "I like this card, but what do you think?" And when you're talking to other people about cards, you want honesty. You want honesty, but sometimes you don't want someone who's just going to give you negativity on everything about a card. So I knew that Terry would be impartial. He, excuse me, he brought up that he liked the color. Um, the corners to me were the one thing that kind of stood out, and I have to remind myself this is a three. I'm not buying a five. I'm not buying a six. So Terry checked it out. Terry then started shooting me other threes that had recently sold or that were on sale and explaining to me what he thought about them. And one interesting point he said is, look at this card. It's nicer, but it's a 3.5, and it costs $800 more than the card you're currently looking at. And that's something you have to think about when you're buying these cards. And like buying this card today, I saved on shipping, I saved on sales tax, I didn't have to go through eBay authenticity. You hear it a million times, and you'll hear it from me. It's fun to buy a card at a card show. And even though this wasn't in the plan, I kept thinking about it. And eventually, my buddy Eric and I took a break. And when we walked back in, I ran into Levon from the LA collection. I asked him if he could walk with me. I wanted to show him the card. And he looked at it, and one of the first things he said is, he goes, "That's a solid three." Then he took a photograph of it, and he showed me what he liked about it and what was good about it. And Levon and I had a previous talk at the Burbank Card Show, and he had mentioned to me, he's like, "You're working on a very hard set. You have a very low population count. Just finish this set, just finish this set, because if you're going to be waiting around for the perfect card, you might be waiting a long time." So today when he saw it, kind of gave me the same advice that Terry had given me. He was like, "You know what? If you want to spend a lot more for a 4 or a 5, do it. But this is a good card for a 3." And again, he gave me a nice pep talk, kind of just saying, you want to finish this set. And if you like the price, if you like the card, do it. So went back to the seller. I said, "Can I look at that card one more time?" Terry goes, or not Terry, Levon goes, "By the way, look at the back. If it's a clean back, I think you have your answer." I liked the back, and I went ahead and said, "I'll take it." And when he did that, we made the deal. He threw in the Roger Maris card, and I walked away a pretty happy guy. So thanks, Levon. Thanks, Terry. I appreciated your guys' help today. This leaves me with 5 cards. I've got 5 cards left. All commons. The most famous person in there would be Johnny Vandermeer. I've got a player by the name of George Case, and another player by the name of Cecil Travis, Bob Johnson, and Dutch Leonard. Those are the 5. I am currently still looking at 2 cards. Maybe I'll try and get one this year. and do the rest next year. But it's great to get this card off my plate. And it was a good show. It was a good day. So I'm gonna leave you with some footage. I haven't looked at the footage yet, so hopefully it's a few minutes worth of footage for you guys to check out of the show. If you stuck around with me this long, thanks so much. Have a great day.
That one has really got great eye appeal. Sharp face, no frosting or fuzz on the back, like a lot of 65s do.
Hold on. Right.
Sure. Okay. Well, come on back. Okay.
So I'll get back to you in a second. You don't have any more. Oh, you can slide it here. She didn't go. She stayed in the car. Well, I don't even think they'll let him in the room. Anyway, and my dad, his blood work was bad. There's some syndrome or something, and my mom says it's related to the shot. Yeah, he did it right before I went home. You know, I told you, ask the doctor about it.
I was gonna say, that's for the kids, right? And I invited Gilbert.
Any 53 Bowman Mantles?
Yeah. Hello?
2 of them.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game, today. If you and I